I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. I dropped the chart. It was really clumsy of me.
I haven't seen you before, have I?
No, I'm Commander Michaels. I work in the emergency room. I was there the day they brought you in. I'm just here to check your progress for Dr. Pearson.
Oh, I see. Well, it's nice to meet you, Commander. I'm David Hastings. So, do those charts tell you that I'll be getting out of here soon?
Well, it says it shouldn't be too much longer, but Dr. Pearson's going to have to be the judge of that.
What's the matter, Commander? Someone crawling on me?
I'm sorry, David. I didn't realize I was staring.
Hello? Oh, hi, Mom. No, it's okay. You didn't wake me. Yeah. Can you hold on a second, Mom? It was nice to meet you, Commander.
It's nice to meet you too, David.
Hi. Yeah, they say it looks like I'll be getting out of here pretty soon.
Matt.
Kim, why aren't you ready?
I'm sorry, man. I completely forgot.
Well, can I come in?
Oh, yeah, sure.
What's going on? Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Well, it's still early. Why don't you go get dressed and I'll call the restaurant and change reservations?
I really don't feel up to it.
Why don't you just be honest with me?
About what, Matt? I said I forgot. I don't know what else to say.
Well, you can start with what's going on. You've been avoiding me like the plague.
I'm just going through some changes, okay?
Is this part of your changes?
This is none of your business.
I think it is. There's another man in your life, Kim. That's why you're playing this little game with me.
I think you'd better leave, Matt.
Is there somebody else?
Yes, there's somebody else. And he's right here. Do you hear me, Commander Rogers? I love him. I love him.
That's the trouble with angels. They don't operate on real time.
Hi, Mark.
Jonathan, will you not do that to me?
Hey, I'm sorry, okay? What's the matter? You have a bad day?
Yeah. Tonight's probably going to be worse.
Oh, what's going on tonight?
Colonel Mahan and I are going out to dinner together.
Hey, well, that's great. See, what did I tell you? You just have to use a little charm.
No. You got it all wrong. She came into my office, almost ordered me to go with her. The last thing in the world I want to do is spend an entire evening with Colonel Stiffbreeches.
Hey, look, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, there is. You can come with us. I can just call her up and tell her that I asked you to go along.
No, look, I'm busy tonight.
Come on, Jonathan, you gotta go. Hey, look, we're partners, right? Partners are supposed to stick together.
Mark, I can't. I've got to take Kimberly to that first meeting of the Veterans Outreach. You're just gonna have to handle her by yourself.
Oh, that's great. We'll probably have some delightful conversation.
Oh, come on. I don't know what you're so upset about. I met the colonel. She seems like a real nice person.
Sure, if you like General Patton in a skirt. We'll have dinner with Ernie Borgnine.
Hi, Mark. Mark, is there something wrong?
No, no, no. Everything's just right. Never seen you like this. You know, your uniform covers all your, You ready to go?
I'll just get my purse. I'm sure you're gonna like this restaurant, Mark. It's called The Natural Wonder.
Oh, Colonel Mayan, you like it, I like it.
Please, call me Fran.
Well, Fran, there's a nice juicy steak out there with my name on it.
Oh, I'm afraid they don't serve meat where we're going. This is a health food restaurant.
Hey, well, I'm easy to please.
Shall we go and dine?
Huh? What the heck, Gordon? You get a nice piece of meat anytime.
It was my job as chief nurse to determine which of the wounded had to be treated first, while the others could only be comforted. I was supposed to decide which of those sons and fathers was worse off than the other. Was it the boy whose legs were blown off when he stepped on a landmine? Or the chopper pilot who was burned when he was blown out of the sky trying to pick up the wounded? When Linda asked if any of us had a sense of guilt as a result of Vietnam, well, I do. Because for 12 months, I was supposed to play God. And to this day, I still see those faces. Sons who'd never again see their parents. And husbands who'd never again see their wives and children. I was working in special services in the Mekong Delta, and it was my job to set up service clubs, you know, places where the men could relax during their off-duty hours. It was a relatively safe area, so it was pretty common to travel the roads without incident. We were running late this one Friday afternoon, and we got a late start back to the base, and I was the only woman on the back of the truck. Sergeant Wagner needed to relieve himself. He was just a kid, and he didn't want to embarrass me, so he jumped off the truck, and he ran. He went into the bushes. Well, that was when I heard an explosion. He stepped on a mine, and he was killed. all because he didn't want to embarrass me.
Honey. Honey, you didn't cause that boy's death. It was the war.
I know, but if I hadn't been on that truck, then maybe he'd still be alive.
And maybe he wouldn't. Things happen. And you can't change that. It's how we deal with them after they happen that counts. Honey, I know what I'm talking about. Hmm? I'm old enough to be a mother to any one of you. Maybe even your grandmother. But I'm no different than you are. My pain's the same. I just lived with it longer, that's all. It was the end of World War II. I was on Guam, working as a nurse, when I met him. His name was Frank. He was a pilot with the Army Air Force and flew his missions out of Guam. Well, it didn't take long for us to fall in love, you know. I mean, we were just two kids. In the middle of a war. Thousands of miles from home. They wouldn't let us get married. But that didn't stop us. I mean, we found a local judge to perform the ceremony. And we spent our honeymoon night out on the beach. Well, Frank's plane was shot down the next day. And I was on duty when they brought him in. He was hurt very bad. And we all worked desperately to save him. But husband died. He died right in front of me. I never got to tell him that I loved him. I never got to tell him goodbye. No.
You know, I was really hesitant about going tonight, and I'm really glad I did.
I'm glad you did, too. You know, you're not alone anymore. Knowing that's very important.
Oh, I know, Jonathan, but I also know those feelings they were talking about. Because I've had them. And the pain that goes along with them.
Well, that's what the group is for. Talking about the hurt and getting past it. Maybe sometime you'll share some of your pain with them.
Mark, you really ought to finish your tofu burger. It's very good for you.
I'll bet. Anything that tastes that bad's got to be good for you.
I think it's delicious.
You do? Well, I guess I'm more of a salami jalapeno man.
Do you know what salami does to your cholesterol count?
No. I just know I like it. I've been eating it all my life.
When was the last time you had your cholesterol level checked?
Last time I had my car serviced.
Mark, I'm serious.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever had it checked.
That's like committing slow suicide. Tomorrow you're going in for a complete physical.
Oh, come on, friend.
That's an order, Gordon.
Yes, ma'am.
Here you go, friend.
Thanks, Wally.
What's this?
Well, I thought you might enjoy an after-dinner drink.
Hey, that's a little more down my alley. To friendship.
And your physical.
Oh! What is that? They don't have creamed him in.
Wheatgrass.
Wish they'd have raked the lawn first. Pwee.
Believe me, once you're used to natural foods, you're going to be hooked. It gives you so much energy.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, my purse.
Yeah, I'll get it.
No, you won't. I left it in the women's room.
You're right, I won't.
Be right back.
How you doing? Hey, will you ring these up for me? I don't have a whole lot of... What are you doing?
Well, he sold! But you better too.
Oh, good Bob.
Ah, yeah, that's a good boy. Now, don't move. Put the rest of the money in the bag. Come on, hurry up. Come on, the money!
Look, you shouldn't...
Shut! Come on, hurry up. Hurry up! Come on! Give me the money! Don't move. Don't move! Yeah, that's a good boy. Good boy. Yeah, stay still now. Don't move, I'll blow your head off. Stay still. Yeah, that's it. Don't move. Yeah, that's a good boy. Good boy. Don't move.
You want some more turkey?
See what little help it'll do?
Give me a bottle of wheatgrass.
What's all this stuff?
It's breakfast. You want some?
Oh, thank you. How'd it go last night?
Oh, Fran and I had a fine time.
Fran? What happened to old Colonel Stiffbritches?
Nothing. Just last night, I just happened to see her in a different light.
And this new diet, does have something to do with Fran, does it?
That's right. She's going to help me get into shape. And from now on, buddy, this is the only kind of stuff I'm eating. Healthy. I want to go with Kimberly in her outreach group.
I think it's going to help her. It's just going to take time. She's carrying around a lot of pain. She's going to have to get it out. Well, I got to get to work. You enjoy your breakfast.
I will, Kimosabi. Like Fran said, you are what you eat. Oh, I'm a cesspool.
And a spokesman for the White House said the president would sign the bill as soon as it reached his desk. The Department of Defense announced today that a fact-finding delegation led by New Mexico Senator Albert Zuniga had concluded its trip to North Vietnam and had brought back the remains of 5 American servicemen who had been identified by the forensics lab in Hawaii. The 5 had previously been listed as missing in action by the Defense Department, but today's announcement officially changes their status from missing to killed in action. The announcement finally ends the years of heartache for those families who have waited anxiously for word of their loved ones. To the families and relatives of those 5 servicemen, we extend our deepest sympathy. They have been identified as Air Force Colonel Robert Leffler, Gardner, Colorado, Marine Captain Gerald Taylor of Coronado, California, Navy Commander Marvin Coyle, New Haven, Connecticut, Army Warrant Officer Joseph Johnston, Billings, Montana, and Navy Lieutenant William Campbell of Beeville, Texas. We salute all of these servicemen who have given their lives for the cause of freedom.
I heard the newscast, Kim. I'm sorry.
For over 17 years, I've been waiting for this day to arrive, Jonathan. Dreading it, preparing for it. Like it was some terrible monster that was going to come and tear out my heart. Oh, well. That monster finally arrived. pain I feel today hurts as much as it did the day Bill was shot down.
I know how much this is hurting you, Kim. But as painful as it is, Bill's death will finally allow you to be free. Free of the pain, free of the heartache. Maybe even free of the guilt.
What guilt?
You had Bill's baby and then put him up for adoption, didn't you?
How did you find that out?
I'm your doctor. I had your file. I saw where you left the service to have the baby and then came back in again when you put him up for adoption.
You know, after Bill was shot down, my whole world was turned inside out. Here I was, all alone, and pregnant by the man I knew in my heart was still alive. Nowadays, I could have kept my baby and my career. But back then, it wasn't possible. But I was determined to get back to Vietnam. So after the baby was born, put it up for adoption. And went back into active duty. Bill was still over there. I wanted to be there when he was found. I wanted to be the one to treat his wounds, and I wanted to be the one to make it all better.
But it didn't turn out the way you expected, did it? You lost your son, and now you've lost Bill.
Don't you think I know that, Jonathan? I have been living with that guilt for 17 years. I have lost... I have lost 2 big pieces of my heart. 2 pieces I will never be able to have again.
Kim, you weren't able to treat Bill when he was hurt. But you were able to treat his son.
What are you talking about?
The boy in the motorcycle accident, David Hastings. He's the child you and Bill created.
David finally fell asleep. He's been pretty nervous ever since Jonathan called. Travis, talk to me, okay? Tell me what you're thinking.
All right, Annie, I'll tell you. When David first told me about all this, I was kind of worried about him meeting his birth parents. Well, insecure is more like it. But Mark convinced me that David's love for me and you was going to outweigh everything. Well, that was before I found out that David's father was a Navy fighter pilot. I'm in competition with a dead hero.
What are you talking about, Travis? You're not in competition with anyone.
Oh, come on, Annie, look at me. I'm no pilot. I'm just a lousy grunt whose feet have never left the ground. I don't want her to see him, to talk to him. No contact.
We have to let David meet her. Travis, I understand your fear. But this competition, if there is any, is with a memory. Nothing more.
Yeah, well, maybe that's enough. Why can't she just leave us alone?
Travis, have you forgotten there's two of us here? I'm involved in this thing too, remember?
I know that, Annie.
Well, give some thought to how I might feel. Here you are worried about losing David to some memory. What about me? Kimberly Michaels is someone alive and real. Someone David can talk to. Someone David can touch. If anyone should be worried about competition here,
Annie, I'm sorry.
Wait, you don't understand. I'm not afraid of her. I've given David my unconditional love for 18 years. And in my heart I know I have nothing to worry about. David will be fine. Honey, this woman may have given David birth, but we've given him life.
You're right. Everything's gonna be all right. Hey, it's gotta be. Mark, Jonathan. Ma'am.
Hello, Travis.
Come on in, folks.
Annie, Travis, this is Kimberly Michaels. Kim, this is Travis Hastings and his wife, Annie.
Miss Michaels.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Where's David?
He's waiting outside in the backyard.
I know this is very uncomfortable for both of you, and I really appreciate this. Has he said anything about how he feels towards me?
No, just that he wants to talk to you.
Maybe it would be better if we all went together.
I think it would be better if you had this time with him alone.
You go on ahead. He's waiting for you.
Thank you.
Miss Michaels. I just want to thank you for giving us David. He's a fine son.
Thank you for being his mother and father.
was hurting inside, and I needed something to help it. Well, the pills weren't doing the job, so I thought a little bourbon might get me right into limbo. What it got me was wrapped around a tree. I just thank God I didn't hurt anybody. When I came to, I was in the trauma care center. And for the first time, I felt good about Vietnam. Because the treatment we learned over there is now being used in shock trauma units all over this country. It feels great to know that what we went through wasn't in vain. Doctors and nurses are saving lives because of all of us. As for the booze, well, I'm working on it. And I think this time I'm going to win.
Oh, thank you, Joyce, for sharing that with all of us. Well, we're just about out of time, so unless there's...
I'd like to say something if I mean, if it's okay. It's all right.
Of course, Kim. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, when I first joined this group, I was concerned about how much good it was really going to do for me. Well, a lot of time has passed now, and I've learned a lot about pain and suffering. Both yours and mine. You know, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's altered all of us. I'll never be the same person I was before. Neither will any of you. Nor will any of the thousands of men and women just like us. But we're doing it, you know, like this. By giving each other pieces of ourselves, maybe we can go out and help someone else. You know, for over 18 years, I have kept my personal pains a secret. I lost the man that I loved, and I gave away the child that he gave inside of me. And in these past 2 weeks, those two pains have finally stopped hurting. I know now that the man I loved is dead. But my child is very much alive. And my old life is finally ended. And tomorrow, my new life begins. Goodbye, Bill.